Welcome to the Boston Art Podcast,
Boston's premier art podcast,
where we talk art, culture, and philosophy.
My name is Theodore Earthworms.
And I am Brian Huntress.
Welcome to the show.
Yo, what's good?
Dude, can you hear me all right? I know you're going to be able to hear my demonic fucking broken car slamming around in the background. But it's just like,
Yeah, ours too.
All right, cool.
Is your car fucked?
So my strut, my front right strut, normally a strut is welded to some metal under the hood. No metal exists for which the strut can be affixed to in like 4 inches in all directions. So
That's
it just
epic.
kind of free slams no matter where I go all the time and is like likely to take my life soon.
Nice.
So I think that that's pretty good, but it's okay because I'm on the Boston Art Podcast with Brian Huntress and Theodora Earthworms.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to the show. You know what's funny is that it's possible that there's somebody, a longtime listener, who has heard us say shout out to Trevor that does not know that that's you.
That literally doesn't know that that's me.
Yeah, we did it a couple times completely coincidentally. We did it, shouted you out so many times consecutively that it became just a running bit that we can't stop doing now.
It makes me feel special, you know? I like feeling important and, man, it's a real ego boost every time I get this shout out to Trevor.
I feel like it gets funnier every time I do it too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So what are you doing right now? You're on the way to the video shoot?
Yeah, as you two know, I only work like 10 minutes away from where we are doing the shoot, but I just I'm in a wedding this weekend, and one of the biggest shows of our life is on Sunday, and in the running around trying to get all of this squared away with the song release and everything, just shat the bed this morning and literally forgot 20 things that are paramount for me to have for the shoot. So I drive all the way back to Beverly from the job in Drake-It, and then all the way back to Drake-It right now. And I'm really cutting it close. But yeah, we fucking vibe.
Yeah, getting it done. That's what matters.
Yeah,
I am, making moves. If they're good moves or not is to be determined, but...
When we were on your set the other day, it was really inspiring to see the group of people you put together, because most of the people there were just there for the vibes, to just have fun and to wear a cool outfit and be in the video. But you guys, as an internal mechanism, it was really cool to watch you guys building a set on the fly, setting it all up with duct tape, and it was just pretty fucking, yeah. You mentioned that day that you had planned all of it shot for shot, actually written down and shit.
Yeah, so I'm very fortunate. Dan Bazarian, who you should definitely have on the show at some point.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Just flat out. I'm very fortunate to have Dan, who directs pretty much all of our videos, and shoots all of our videos, and is a phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky in that I come with my wild ramblings, and Dan doesn't say no to anything, and I get some pretty off-the-wall ideas with no budget with which to do it. And Dan is never someone to say no. He's very much someone who says, okay, how? And just rolls with it. But we're this is our 7th or 8th video we've done with Dan. And we've really built that rapport. So it's partially knowing how each other works and how he trusts me that if I say we're going to do something, he knows that I'm not just pulling something out of my ass. There is somewhat of preparedness for it. But also I have learned how to properly communicate that unto him. So what we did for this one and the MC and the last few, we make a spreadsheet, and it on an x-axis is the timeline of the song. So it's like verse 1, chorus 1, verse 2, chorus 2. And then all of the little cells that you fill in underneath that are your A plot line, your B plot line, and your C plot line, and just what's happening during those sections. So, like, for you guys who are in the shoot, and if anyone ends up watching the video when it comes out next week, all of the, like, crazy stuff you guys were doing, that's one plot line. And we know that we cut to that part when, you know, that part of the song happens. We'll have the band playing the song, which is like B footage. That's one plot line that's going out throughout the song, and like what is happening throughout the song on that. So it is very organized in theory. And then we show up the day of the shoot, and you guys came in right after. We realized the set was too tall for the room, and we had to bring a circular saw into the practice space. I mean, no, we didn't. Went without. I'm really sorry.
That's awesome to be able to plan to that level of detail in advance. Like, it must have saved so much time on the day of. Like, if you guys went into that without a plan, it would have been fucked.
Yeah. There's like 2 things that I'm good at. And okay, well, actually, no. There's 3 things I'm good at. Being managerial and like planning for these kinds of things, punching people, and writing weirdo songs. And luckily I have gotten to a point where like all of those little few skills I have, I am able to exercise on a regular. So that's cool.
That is cool.
In terms of like the songs and like themes and shit, me and Theo were talking last night where we were like trying to figure out like what truly makes a song a cabaret song, because like when you think about like cabaret in the context of like early 2000s pop punk and emo, like it doesn't actually sound at all like what cabaret music sounded like in France in like 1890 or whatever the fuck.
No.
So we were trying to like really narrow down like what that really means and like right now.
My like 2 cents on it is it has more to do with because the progressions and what you're doing for the most part are going to be like fairly straightforward emo chords, and like, you know, especially if you're going on the popular end of it, it's a lot of 1/4/5s, which you wouldn't necessarily always find in the cabaret stuff. Right. But what gives it that feel has a lot more to do with what you're doing rhythmically. So for us, with Angela in particular, this is like the most swung song that we have. You know, we're swinging the shit out of the A note the entire time on the rhythm section between me, Connor, and Gav. Another thing that you'll see a lot, like a big MCR thing, is using like the polka kind of feel.
Yeah.
If you just listen to that with no notes and it's just dot 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 dot, it's nothing. If you make it a distinctive up and down between, I don't know, a fucking half step or a whole step, all of a sudden you have Mama off the Black Parade, and like everyone and their fucking sister will fucking recognize that.
Yeah.
So it has a lot more to do with the rhythmic stuff. We also get a little more heady, and I'll start to get like into a little bit chewier chords and stuff. Most people don't necessarily pick up on that though, especially when you're using however much distortion. Having a piano in the band at all times does kind of lend to that, but ultimately the answer is just vibes. You know what I mean? Like, what's the fucking vibes?
Because you know what's such a thing too is like with a lot of the pop punk and emo world, and I'm kind of using those things interchangeably in this context, but it seems like the visuals are so important for so many bands where like there is like when you look at like the different, like in terms of early 2000s emo, there was like kind of a normie, colorful, almost like an emo academia, like the Academy is, or like Motion City Soundtrack. And then there was like super like gothic, formal emo, like MCR, and or like kind of like a nerdy Boy Next Door, like Fall Out Boy.
Yep.
And it's like all of those bands could have theoretically switched images. They could have just traded images, and in like most cases it could have been totally passable. Like, I don't think you could have had the Helena music video with them, like, wearing, like, just, like, nerd, like, regular, cool guy, like
look like fucking Weezer.
Yeah.
Right, like, Weezer outfits for Helena. Like, that probably wouldn't have worked. But you could switch the outfits for, like, most other, like, I don't know, like, I'm Not Okay. They totally could have looked like Weezer.
I don't know about that.
But they didn't. Yeah. They looked like they were in, like, a British boarding school, and they were gothic.
Yeah. That's true.
I kind of love that, because a lot of bands, sorry to fucking ear beat, but, like, what I love about Bullpup is that you guys actually were like, no, we're doing a theme. This has a look.
And, you know, I mean, Brian, you especially knew us from the beginning. There was a period of time where I had to fight uphill for that. And I'm really glad that, like, I feel like it was almost like I had to earn the trust on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm going back, like, a decade. Like, this isn't, like, some, like, petty shit from, like, a little while ago. This is, like, a long time when we, like, didn't know each other that well. But, like, see where we are now as a finish line.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, the how to get there. So I was, like, really bought into, like, sticking to the aesthetic and being really consistent with that from the gun. And it took a little bit of time to get everyone on board. And I think, like, the more that we saw success with those kinds of things and like that worked, everyone got a little more comfy. To fast forward to the Safe Word tour that you helped us out on last year, and Robbie comes up to me unprompted and goes, "Hey, will you put eyeliner on me?" And like 3 years ago, that was not a sentence Robbie Beelan says to me. You know what I mean? Like, so it's cool. And I think another thing with that, for, you know, me and John in particular, it was like queerness identity and coming to terms with that thing too, which is reasonable. You know, everyone be getting there in their own time. So yeah, it's definitely like feels the most advanced. I feel like we are like in a very cohesive final form of that like look right now.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like there are many bands. Like it kind of reminds me of Makeup, where there's a lot of people who look at a band like Taking Back Sunday or something. Like I can't even remember what their picture, whatever their professional pictures were at the time. But they looked as though they were wearing regular street clothes in a lot of their music videos. But that's that's actually a no makeup look. Like they're, you know what I mean? They're wearing cool outfits and intentionally dressing to look as though they're kind of like regular basement emo show going guys. But like that is a look that does look different than a guy who actually just looks like shit and isn't wearing cool clothes at all.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like trying hard to not look hard too, or trying hard not to look like you're trying hard too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like actively trying to look like you just like rolled out of bed, but actually you spent like 40 minutes straightening your hair straight upwards and like using Party City black hairspray in it.
Well, that's the thing too. I feel like a lot of people don't. Maybe if you're not intentionally curating that, a lot of people don't realize that looking like shit is also an aesthetic decision when you're performing. Like, I don't know, you can't, I don't know, I think about this in the sense of, like, in a professional context, like, just being a woman at work. Like, I can't just go in my PJs. Like, that would be a fucking L for me. You know what I mean? Like, that's debatable whether or not that's okay. But if you're doing a show and you're presenting an aesthetic and you're trying to world build with your songs and with your videos and whatever, like, you have to choose how you're going to present. And if you present nothing, that's still choosing to present nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
But I think that there's like a level below that where you don't. I think there's a level of effort required that if you don't meet it, you don't even like. For example, like if you just go up on stage and you're wearing like a Marvel T-shirt and cargo shorts, like you failed.
Yeah, that's what
like
I mean.
You didn't fucking.
That's what I mean.
But
You're the gross musician.
That's like the guy you fucked up if you're that guy. But there are people where you can do a look where you kind of you look deceptively casual.
Yeah.
I guess you know what I mean. Versus you never want to be the guy that's like in just like wearing shorts.
Yeah.
And Skechers. or some. I don't know. I guess there's nothing wrong with Skechers. They're probably comfy or whatever.
I
But
think I'm literally wearing Skechers.
are you
These are
actually?
Skechers. Fuck
You're
you.
literally wearing Skechers. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. You gotta be cute in this world.
It's a kemptness, right? Because
Yes.
like you can be like kind of like chill and relax and stuff, but like still look like you're put together in any capacity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can show up to work in leggings. Doesn't mean you can show up in pajamas, like
Yes.
you said.
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
right.
a different thing.
I think this
Also,
is like the
Connor Bullpup is currently in front of me. Say hi to the Boston Art Podcast, Connor.
Yo, what up, Connor?
Hi, Connor.
I was saying earlier that Connor, I think, would be a good candidate for an episode or for like a Bullpup episode. Like us, you, like John and Connor or something.
They want to have you on the show at some point.
That'd be pretty funny.
You went, all right.
Yeah. Also, if you have to go and like get ready and shit, no worries. We're
Good for a little bit. I'm just going to be carrying things in. It's all chill.
okay. So right now, to paint the picture, you're currently loading in shit or equipment into your fucking warehouse space, getting ready to complete the music video shoot.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
curious. We had kind of mentioned earlier. I'm like really curious because I didn't know like sorry, that was a lot of shit. I'm really curious like what this was like from your guys' lens, who had no information about what you were getting into at all. Rolling up, seeing me stand on some amps and our friend like cutting wood with a circular saw, and we just be like, yeah, no, this is gonna come together, don't worry. And just like basically getting like thrown into the deep end in terms of, okay, this is what you're doing, here's the camera, and see what you're on camera, go. Like
I loved it. I thought it was really fun.
I thought it was awesome that you were having fun, Theo, because I know you like I feel like you like are always in need of an outlet to do theatrical fun things like that, and you don't usually get to do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is the perfect opportunity for Theo. For me, I thought that when I hear like, oh, my friend's band's doing a music video shoot, what I usually assume is that they need like extras for like some kind of
like a
performance.
crowd.
Yeah, like that's what I had thought you guys were doing.
I told you beforehand. We were literally building your outfit, and you were like, we're going to be on screen for like a second. And I was like, I don't think that's exactly
Yeah.
true. Like, I think they're going to see you.
not this time.
Right. But no, I love that too. 'Cause, like, what I like about that, so for me, like with all of this, it kind of reminds me of my music, where with my music, if you know me, it's really easy to tell that I'm the only person in the recording most of the time. Like you get, like, I feel like my music sounds like it was made by a solo artist versus when you're listening to a band, like you can feel that there's a lot of different people there. Like there's like a lot of different things happening. And I feel like sometimes that can lend credibility to a project when the viewer can see like, oh, there's a lot of people like in this thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it makes it so much cooler versus me. Every time I make any kind of digital media, it's literally just me the entire time in the video, which makes me look lonely, I feel like. Like, it makes, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like locked away in some weird place and no one's there.
Eating Hormel chili out of a can cold by yourself.
Just
crying.
making content all day. I don't know. Like I feel like when you see a content creator or a music video or whatever it is, and there are a lot of people in it, it really elevates it a lot. Do you guys do you guys feel that at all?
You know what it is too? It's like a way for, I don't know, we're not the most clouded up people on the planet, but it's nice to me. It's nice to me to be able to like include a lot of the people, because we're not just picking randos. Like everyone that was there at the shoot when you guys were there are people who are super close to us and have in some way like severely impacted our lives or helped us out and like been around forever. So to just have them like visually be recognized as part of it is really important to me, and like it means a lot to me that you guys like came out, but also just that like, I don't know, it's a look behind the scenes of really like it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes like a commune to raise a band.
Yeah.
Specifically one that's doing things the way we are, where we aren't really doing a lot of cash grabs or selling a lot of morals up the river, and like if I'm being very blunt, we could be signed already if I had done things a little bit differently and a little bit shittier. And that is something we've refused to do. But we've still been doing really well for ourselves because of people like you guys in our lives. You know what I mean? Like, so it's nice to have that visually represented in the fucking vid.
That's awesome. That vibe came across too, like both of what you're saying. Like, it felt very credible and exciting to be there just because of how many people were there and how in everybody was. But it was also like I like doing theater and stuff, but I haven't in a really long time, so I was like pretty nervous at first. But it was very like comfortable, very supportive. Everybody was so chill. You and Dan were really chill, so it made it like that kind of encouraging atmosphere was definitely present. And like even when everybody was recording in the room and everyone else was out in the hallway, like the conversation was flowing. Everybody was super nice. Everybody was getting to know each other better if they didn't already. Like, it's just a nice environment, you know.
Well, it's funny. I'm going to put her on blast a little bit, but Kayla, who's going to come show up and, like, help just kind of stitch up some of the continuity things in the shoot. Kayla's whole life is jiu-jitsu, and I know her because of the gym, and she told me she felt more comfortable at this shoot than she's felt in any space in her life, period. And,
that's awesome.
We have some dope teammates, but it just kind of goes to show, like, man, we're really, like, doing the right things and connecting the right people, and it just,
that's cool.
It was a good vibe. It was a dub for sure.
Yeah,
because that's, like, so, I mean, I'm sure like, we both have experienced this, but, like, there are so many people out there making shit and trying to get people together and doing shows, whatever, that just legitimately make people feel like shit all the time.
Yeah.
But people just still constantly but they still are, they're so active, but everybody feels like shit and they're active.
Yeah. Like mold.
Well, and it's also just like
like mold.
I don't like not hang out with you guys outside of like working. You know what I mean? And there are oh my god, it is again, sorry. There are plenty of situations where like your friendships become transactional.
Yeah.
And it just essentially like becomes like this weird like psychological meth den of just like, well, what are you going to do for me if I do this for you? And also I hate you secretly type shit.
Yeah.
Because of it.
My whole thing is that I don't care at all if something is transactional as long as it's transparent.
Yeah.
Like if somebody just straight up can't, like I don't mind as long as we're all intentionally being transactional.
Yeah.
All cards on the table, and also like my other thing is like I'll play ball, I'll make business moves, but for something like this, I want people I like.
Yeah. Straight
up, like if I don't fuck with you, go away, and I have no problem telling you that to your face and why. Which is kind of our MO also, but
yeah,
it does make spaces safer when you are upfront with that shit.
Yeah, for sure. It also means that you don't get left with a video with someone you fucking hate in it, like 3 years from now or something,
Exactly.
Right.
So, okay. Next trip, I'm just like literally like holding the phone in my teeth and like rucking packages back and forth. I hope it doesn't sound like unlistenable. I hope it's like I'm doing a good job.
It's kind of really funny.
It'll be perfect.
Cool. I'm like stressing because I never break out ever. Of course, today when I have to have the camera like in my fucking esophagus, I broke out right on the line of my lip. So I went and got one of those little like zit patches.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the acids, which I thought was very ironic because you guys were talking about it on the last episode, the like serums and all that shit. I got one because I was like, this needs to be gone because I need to look consistent with the video. And I'm already stressing. I'm like, I roll up to the Walgreens. There's a little ambulance up front with like lights flashing. I'm like, oh, weird. Someone must have like gone to a fender bender or something. I walk into the Walgreens. Within milliseconds, I am 2 inches away from some girl getting carried out in a stretcher, screaming, crying. And I was just like,
what?
This is not helping.
Oh,
this is not helping
my God.
Oh, Lord.
What the hell happened to Walgreens?
I don't know, because it was so quiet in there. The employees acted like nothing fucking happened. As soon as they left, I was like, am I having like a Shining style fucking hallucination about this entire thing?
She was never there.
Like, did this actually happen? I don't even fucking know.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Just stress-induced hallucination.
Right. From the shoot. So so the song's out tomorrow, right?
The song is out tomorrow.
Yay!
And then that.
Also, actually, wait, hold on 2 seconds. Bobby! Super quick. Yeah. I want you to say hi to the Boston Art Podcast. Hi, Boston Art Podcast.
Yo, what's up?
Hi.
How's it going?
Are you in? I'm in When Without. I'm a lead singer. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Bobby's in the band that we share the space with, the one that we have been shooting the music video in and stuff. So I wanted to give a shout out to Bobby for being cool and let us use the space.
Oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah. Shout out. Thank you. That's
Sorry,
so
that was
sick.
like a huge sidetrack. He was walking by and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, no problem. That's sick. Yeah, so I'm excited to finally, for me, like, I feel like I don't truly hear a song before release until I'm listening to it, like, in the Spotify app. It's like completely placebo, psychological dumb. But I'm just like, no, I need to listen to this album for the 900th time in the app.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And like I have very recently, like in the last like 24 hours, gotten to the point where I've listened to it so many times I'm starting to think that I did like a horrible job on it and all the vocals are ass.
I've been doing that with my stuff too.
I'm trying to maintain that, like, actually I am fairly confident that like this is like far and away the best song that we've done.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I'm not trying to suck ourselves off too much, but like I feel like this is the most cohesive we've been, and we just like fucking crushed it.
Yeah.
And it goes a lot of places. It stays interesting the whole time, and it's just like exactly what I wanted it to be. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, you're very vocally consistent. Like when you were doing those shoot takes where you were like doing, you were like singing along to it for the shoot.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like a lot of the times when I record vocals, I'll like forget how I even did it and just end up like accidentally singing it completely different or something like after it's released.
Right.
But like, yeah, I do appreciate how fucking loyal to the original you were being, or well, you kind of have to be, I guess, with a video shoot.
I mean, a lot of that just has to do with like the training too, like it's been a long process of working with Carly to get to a point where I can like show up consistently. And I'm not like the best singer on the planet, but I'm definitely like not doing the easiest things either when we are tracking. So
what did they
I'm trying to dread that.
What did you learn? Like, what do you feel like were like some things that you took away from vocal lessons that you did not have before?
I mean, I've been working with Carly for like years now, like literally almost 10 years. So like the biggest things whenever I take on students, which I haven't in a long time, just because I don't have the fucking time to teach anymore, is nasal resonance, which is a big thing, and like knowing how to put more pressure on like the back of your nasal cavity instead of bearing down on your larynx and like doing vocal damage. The thing we've been working on most recently has been this thing called column breathing, which is like stems from like old operatic technique, but is really, really applicable in all things, in particular screaming, and make sure that you're like doing that correctly and not just like tearing a hole in your voice so that you like are missing 5 notes in your range by the time you get to the ripe age of 25.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones. And also just like what has helped a lot, honestly, has been the martial arts stuff, because I think everyone thinks that when you're like really, really belting something, or if you start throwing punches and kicks or anything like that, you need to be as tense and like bear down as you possibly can, when in actuality you hit way harder and you hit notes way cleaner if you're like as relaxed as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that about
like,
car accidents too.
Yeah. Which feels very antithetical to how it looks and sounds, you know?
Yeah, for me too. Like I spent like a decade just only playing acoustic and singing acoustic, to the point where like I feel like there was a huge learning curve for me where I was finally just like, all right, like whatever I do acoustic or completely dry I'm not living in the Dust Bowl. Like I need to learn how to use my voice with a mic. You know what I mean? And like, because when you're playing acoustic, you're analog, like you're biologically mixing sound. You know what I mean? Because you're really using your actual real resonance, your real voice, your arms with the acoustic, and like versus with technology and mics and a PA system, like you have so much more control vocally when you are trusting the tech. You know what I mean? And I don't mean like auto-tune or something. I mean, but like when you can use the mic as a vocal tool, like you can do so much more than just being like, you know, Bob Dylan. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Mic control is an art in and of itself. It is honestly like that is something we get complimented on more often than anything from sound guys. He's like, man, you really know how to like not kill a mic, and I really appreciate that. Like creamy stuff, I get away from the mic. When I'm getting more into my falsettos and stuff, I lean in on that shit, and it's just better for the audience. You know, I think people are like, yeah, it's really cool to just like scream your fucking heart out like with the mic in your throat, and it's like, yeah, but then everyone in there wants to kill themselves, and then you in that order after that just experience, you know, like
yeah.
For me, it was like what really made me question the difference with mic control and acoustic versus playing live with like a mic is literally just Billie Eilish's music, because when you listen to her recordings, like the real, I don't know what she's like live, obviously, I've never seen her, but her studio tracks, she's literally like whispering. Like if she was playing acoustic, you would not fucking be able to hear her over a guitar. Cause she's
also, she triple tracks too, I'm pretty sure. Like she does like a lot of doubling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
And then, like mixes it super low so that you're not really getting a lot of the enunciation, but it just gives it that fuller effect when it's in those whisperier moments. That's the word.
But it's like creating that live, even with no backing track, creating that live is like it's just not going to happen unless you're plugged in.
Right.
You know, it's kind of a curse, like trying to make yourself into a lifer acoustic artist. It's not the move.
It is until it works for someone, and then everyone's like, man, I want to fucking do what that person did. You see Field Medic just like roll onto a stage with a fucking boombox from 2001 and just like play the most like busted tape you've ever heard in your life, and it sounds like Jesus weeping. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, dude.
Someone can do this.
Yeah, and you know what, dude? Another thing too is that sacred cows and rules and all this stupid shit, they're all rules that you have to follow until somebody fucking absolutely sick breaks them.
Yeah.
When somebody breaks the rules and they suck and they're lame, you're like, you look at them and you're like, you're an idiot. You should have followed the rules. But when somebody breaks the rules and it's absolutely fucking dope, then it's not a rule anymore.
Another big thing that I teach when I'm teaching my striking classes is like, yeah, use you know, our like fundamentals and what we're teaching you to fight off, but like stylistically, if you have something that works and like you're winning, it's not bullshit if it works. You know what I mean? Like it's only bullshit if it doesn't work. So sometimes you just gotta throw that shit.
Yeah. That's something I've been thinking a lot about recently, because I'm playing like I'm solo with guitar and vocals with a full fucking backing track and beat. And like, I'm just like, I just know that I'm gonna have haters for that live style choice. But it's just like it's the same thing. Like you just can't deny something that's dope.
If you're not pissing someone off, you're not doing it right. So
yeah, and you know what? The same people that like complain like, "Oh, that band uses tracks," like they're all like, it's like also like, what do you think? Like every fucking rapper performance, what do you think? Everyone has pit bands and orchestras and backup singers. Like, we don't have, like, the budget of the fucking, like, Rolling Stones or a Paul McCartney tour at the Fenway.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Hire 80 people for one set?
I feel like TikTok has, like, kind of killed that mentality of people being, like, up in arms about that kind of stuff, luckily, too. Like, I feel like people are, like, more sympathetic to the home producer because we spent however long in COVID watching people literally perform in that medium that, like, everyone under a certain age bracket just got, like, reprogrammed to just merely accepting that, like, no, that's okay. This is an acceptable way to consume this kind of performance now.
Do you ever watch Anthony Fantano reviews?
Not often, but once in a while. It depends on what he brushes up on. I'm very, very picky about my rap. Like, I like very specific artists. But if he gets into, like, a lot of the heavier, like, knocked loose stuff, I'll usually watch those.
Well, one thing that he was talking, he made a video about the other day that was more like commentary, was how apparently there's, like, somebody, like, did some data reporting that there, like, literally isn't any, like, I think that, like, for last year or something, there was just, like, 0 bands in, like, top 40 or anything. Mm-hmm. They're just like with rap, with like rock, even with rock artists or with pop, they're just like, we're just in the millennia, in the era of solo artists creating bands around themselves, where there just isn't a band. It's just a guy that sounds like a band.
It's just a guy who eats chili at home and cries like all day.
Yeah.
He's lonely.
Just like eating an entire can of raw chickpeas.
Like skins on.
And just like drinking the aquafaba shit or whatever it is.
Ew, dude.
Stoilant.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely think it's weird to imagine a future where like where people are like, where it's like unusual to be in a band rather than it being unusual to be a solo artist.
Yeah, and I mean, like, people are busy and session musicians exist, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, it happens. It be like that. Hold on. Literally 2 seconds.
Oh,
yeah,
hell yeah.
Here, John, you talk to them for a little bit.
What are we talking about?
Say hi, John.
What up, John?
Hi,
How's
John.
life?
What's up, Brian?
Are you excited for your music video dropping?
I'm so excited. I just sprayed myself in the eye with setting spray.
No, that's the worst.
No, not because I was excited. It was because I opened my eyes and my finger went before it was supposed to. All right, good.
Oh man, yeah, I was kind of curious about what do you think of the kind of aesthetic direction it's taking with like the people these souls trapped in this fucking box or whatever?
How do I feel about that? I feel like it is weird to do to the people that I love, to make them sort of have to get tortured, but also they gotta come in. So I wasn't for the podcast.
It was. You're on mic. That's
Oh
great.
yeah, we should have told them that.
No, I think it's fine. I think it's fine and good. I'm running away from them anyways. So.
Oh hell yeah. Yes, you're about to start shooting and fucking connecting the rest of the video together, huh?
Yeah, so we're doing all of the band shots. I have to tie everyone up like puppets, like that
cool.
fucking Backstreet Boys video, which is going to be pretty funny.
That's such
and
a funny visual reference.
Kayla has to beat the shit out of me and connect the part where you guys all sat me down in the chair. To anyone listening to this is going to sound like a lot of crazy shit, but
oh hey,
It will make sense if you watch it.
Do you guys know when the video is going to come out? Or is it just when it's done?
Assuming nothing horrible happens, it should be next Friday.
Yay!
I don't know.
You should make up some like crazy hoax story like that, like almost, you know how like you should try to create the effect that like Alec Baldwin murdering a person had on that movie Rust.
Oh, we should say that like I killed someone for real.
Yeah, and then like, oh, like somebody died in this video, and then that'll really drive up the hype, and everyone will watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't come around to fight us at all. I'm just like,
Right. If you just spread, that would be a very funny shtick for a band to do, like promotion wise. I mean, this has happened. Many versions of this have existed, but like just engineering real, like just crazy misinformation about yourself. That's bad misinformation. Like it isn't even like funny. It's just like crazy shit.
Like that Judy Hopps guy on TikTok?
Yeah, like that guy.
Posted like a fake cease and desist because he won't stop saying he wants to fuck Judy Hopps.
Yeah, that'd be good. You could be that guy, Trevor.
That's my advice.
You know, every day I wake up and I'm like, I could be the Judy Hopps guy.
If I just work hard enough.
If I just work hard enough. Someday, I too can just have wildly out of fucking pocket thoughts about a children's movie.
Oh shit. So should we do we gotta cut you loose so you can go fucking make some great digital art, digital media?
Yeah, I think I'm about to get fucking rolling on that stuff.
Beast.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you guys having me on. I'm sorry that I'm like way more limited. Normally if I get on this thing I'm just like, I'm on as long as you need me.
No, it's totally
hours. I don't give a fuck.
It's awesome. Yeah, one thing we're actually doing, a little bit of housekeeping for us, is we're gonna try out a season of we're thinking about actually limiting our runtime for
That's great.
the
I feel like
future.
that would be very good for your brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, we're trying to optimize, get the maximum amount of work and content in while preserving the maximum amount of health and mind health.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that for you specifically. I love both of you specifically.
Yeah, you too, man. It's awesome to bear witness to, you know, everything you guys are doing and the sick shit you guys are making. So,
Yeah.
and to be your friend.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. All right. Well,
Okay.
I will load it in there. If we've gotten this far and you haven't figured it out, I'm Trevor from Bullpup. You heard a bunch of other people from Bullpup kind of sporadically throughout this. Our new song comes out October 11th. It's called Angela Died on the Hook. It is like truly the piece of work that I am proudest of that we've ever made. So please give it a listen. We have a super big show in Arlington, the 13th, which is the Sunday. It's like a 250 cap room with Johnny Manchild, who's like one of my childhood heroes, which is going to be super dope. And then the music video will be out whatever next Friday is. I'm not going to look at that number because fuck that. It is the Friday after October 11th. But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Of
Yeah,
course,
thank you.
man. We look forward to the great success of this song and the video.
Don't let Kayla kill you.
Yeah, be careful in there. All right,
Yeah.
have fun.
All right.
Talk to you
see ya.
soon. Later.
Boston Art Podcast.
Boston Eye Podcast. Peace. I guess we'll shut this off too.
You want to say it?
Boston Eye Podcast. All right, bye guys. Thank you for listening. That was Trevor, obviously. But yeah, you heard it here, folks.
You heard it here first. Go check out that video. We're in it.
Yeah, the song is definitely out by now, so you can go jam the song in the video 7 days from right now.
Yep.
Bye.
Boston Art Podcast is an independent DIY production by Brian Huntress and Theodora Earthworms. The information contained in this episode represents the views and opinions of the original creators or our guests, and does not represent any institution, organization, or business. Find us on Instagram at Boston Art Podcast, and tune in for a new episode every Friday. Thank you for listening.